Yeah, it's all about that knowledge game, and also I guess it's kind of the part where you're playing against well-known players. You're gonna know kind of like what they like to play, sort of their signature picks as well. But then again, it's as we've mentioned, it's like kind of been a bit of a recurring theme with some of these teams that have popped up, which are made of like almost brand new teams forming. It's like you have these big players that we know are good and solid players, but when it comes to actually playing the game, starting to see some of the cracks appearing, some mistakes starting to pull out as well. As we're going to get into the draft for this one, Rocket Rockies being on your first pick, first ban, left-hand side versus NA Rejects. Greystone. Didn't think I'd be seeing a Greystone ban, but I think that might be a bit of the ping factor coming into play, maybe trying to remove some of the more comfort or less skill shot reliant heroes.
Yeah, definitely denying that Greystone. Like what you mentioned, that was the first thing that I thought about. I'm like, they're definitely going to target those heroes, target ban those heroes where you don't need to rely on skill shot because they're going to be playing on ping. And of course, North American Rejects coming out with that Bellica ban, absolutely heartbreaking. We haven't really seen Bellica on the battlefield as of yet in FangBooth 6. So just denying that hard CC that she's able to provide with her knockup, as well as her ability and just as an aggressive mid laner.
Yeah, and also like you can translate that into the supporting role as well with these setup supports for like kill lanes and stuff like that. It's been interesting. We've seen with teams either picking stuff like the Decker, but this Richter forever banned in our first two games. Maybe we're going to see why it is banned as well. Going to be picked up by the Rocket Rookies as well. And this is going to be a takeaway also from Crazzyfool as well. It's one of his most known picks, at least in the NA scene. So giving the Rocket Rookies the Richter pick as well, with a bit of flex potential and also hitting them hooks. We know how dicey that can get.
Yeah, you definitely need to hit your hooks when you are playing a Richter. And that comes with also the silence, absolutely denying that Richter from Crazzyfool. But over on the right-hand side, we have North American Rejects locking in first pick, the Kwang. Definitely we can see Kwang in the off lane, whether that be in the jungle as well. And we have yet to see him perhaps in the support role, but really relying on his tether, the Fury of the Heavens, to land that combination and for them to deal some damage. And we see there's the steal.
Yeah, and I want to say as well, especially with the Kwang, I think Kwang support just feels like a Crazzyfool pick, to be honest. I would imagine that Crazzyfool will be an absolute monster on the pick if given into the hands. And there's still the possibility as well. They're going to be picking up that steal, a lot of flex potential, not quite shown their hand just yet. You have that switch between solo, jungle, and support for both of these characters. Rocket Rookies going to pick up the Decker as well. It's a bit of priority. So they've already grabbed some of our most banned heroes are already being picked up in the first, second pick. And they're going to round it off with a very straightforward, but also quite comfortable mid laner in the Gideon.
Yeah, Gideon, one of those reliable mid lane heroes. You take away the Bellica and then you lock in the Gideon. It's just textbook. But, coming in, looking at the other side, you got the steal. Like you mentioned, that is like the flex pick is right there. The Decker and the Richter, possibly off lane for the Richter. We don't quite know. There's a lot of flex picks going on. But yet again, NA Rejects locking in that Twin Blast, able to land a lot of those abilities from afar, just heavy pokes. But we'll see what kind of combination we'll be seeing as we go into this game.
I'm actually quite surprised to see North American Rejects taking this Twin Blast. I mean, with Lakenator really impressive on his Murdoch with the villains roster as well. So, giving him the Twin Blast, but then again, is it the Twin Blast? That could also be a flex, Twin Blast into the mid lane, or even a Wraith into the mid lane if that gets picked up later on. But we have got some bans. Sevarog will no longer be allowed to haunt the battlegrounds as he has been for the first 2 games on broadcast. First 3 games on broadcast, I should say. Gadget also going to be banned away, so hitting that mid lane pool a little bit.
Yep, and definitely with Gadget, you just have to kind of throw your sticky mines and still denying that those heroes that rely on I guess, more skill shot abilities. So we've got Chimera coming in from North American Rejects. I love this pick. We know Gratty is a very aggressive jungler. And if he's able to come out and have those plays, have those engages that he wants, Rocket Rookies have to watch out.
Yeah, for sure. I think heavy rotations towards those side lanes as well. More than happy to go to mid lane. You got to imagine that there's going to be a game plan. Is like, right, which of these lanes do I want to impact the most and get them ahead? Rocket Rookie is going to be securing that Rdawggg pick for themselves and running off with the Zarus as well. To complete this composition, a lot of big circles, a lot of crazy cage combinations. I mean, they managed to get a gadget in on top of that. That would have been absolutely lethal. But hey, the Gideon is going to be fine. But North American Rejects going to throw a curveball of their own. We're going to be seeing the Seraph picked to round out their composition as well.
Yeah, so I really like the Rocket Rookies draft right now. So like what you mentioned, you've got the containment fence, you got the Coliseum. So we already know what kind of combinations we'll be seeing from Rocket Rookies. But North American Rejects, on the other hand, they're going for more of that aggressive play style, especially with them locking in Seraph. They've got Chimera. So they have to be careful, Rocket Rookies and North American Rejects. They definitely want to get that early game and get the snowball going.
For sure here. And I'm wondering as well, is this going to be the Nitro Seraph that we're seeing as well? One of these picks has been coming out again, particularly into this matchup, because for Rocket Rookies, they have got that flex potential. Is this going to be Richter offlane Zarus jungle, or is this Zarus offlane Richter jungle? We are going to find out. At least we're hopping on to the battleground for this one. It is InkLegend going to be piloting the Richter jungle for us, making Zarus in towards that offlane. And just to kind of round it off, Tekken Kid also going to be taking the Kwang as well, for himself. So again, this is going to be an interesting one. As let's have a look at here. Tekken Kid looks like going for the offlane. Crazzyfool taking Steel inside of that supporting role as well. So it's nice to round it off here. But I like this. I like this a lot.
Yeah, I definitely like this too. Nitro with the Seraph. He's going into the mid lane, it looks like. And I've never seen this before, so I'm curious to see how this will go against a Gideon, who is that ranged mid laner, able to kind of deal a lot of damage from afar. But at the same time, Seraph able to kind of lock in and close the gap and just leap onto him. So Gideon's got to be careful here. Along with the Chimera, we're going to be seeing a burning of blinks, as well as him just trying to portal away.
For sure here, I mean, this is definitely one to watch it. I mean, we know what Nitro can do with that Seraph pick in the off lane, but taking it into the mid lane, I'd say, against a ranged matchup. So, like, essentially, the idea behind Seraph as a laner is that you can use your Heaven's Fury to actually mitigate a lot of this damage where you just have like immunity. So really good against heroes that have like long cast times, or at least more telegraphed attacks. But against, SimmyGoesHard, already going to be winning that out, unable to obviously get away from that Cosmic Rift, because Nitro has not picked up the Heaven's Fury, he's picked up that the wings to try and get a little bit of wave clear at least. So that's going to be the one to watch here. But North American Rejects, of course, if they're taking the Seraph in the mid lane, there is a lot of physical power in this NA Reject squad. And having to think of, like, your Kwang is essentially your only magic damage.
Yeah, and they have to build that, definitely that armor, and going into this comp yet again, Gratty's we're gonna expect him to get aggressive, and then we'll just have to see how Seraph will play against this Gideon, especially in the mid lane. Both of these heroes want to roam and kind of contribute to the side lanes, which is what the mid laner's role is because you're in the middle. You can go to the left and you can go to the right a lot easier than the other lanes can.
Yeah, you definitely have that agency, and also you can impact these side lanes and rotate as well. I'm pretty sure you're not going to be just sitting around trying to duke it out in the mid lane. Nitro is going to want to roam, almost kind of play like a second jungle. InkLegend going to hit the first Riplash of the game on towards this Chimera, but it's taking a lot of damage because Nitro is here. The blink to follow as well. Heaven's Fury on towards InkLegend, keeping him going. Gratty with the ambush. First blood is drawn by the North American rejects. Nitro going very low, and Rdawggg is the one who will take him down. It's a 1-for-1, but first blood bounty picked up on that Seraph.
Yeah, and good for the duo lane Rdawggg to kind of notice that the Seraph wasn't level 3 yet, not able to get anywhere, as we see here on the off lane. Tark and Tekken Kid just absolutely at 20 HP, 30 HP at the moment, just battling it out. But we see that there's some burning of resources during that little skirmish, and we're going to be seeing a lot of them.
Yeah, it looks like Blink was burned by Tekken Kid just to dodge away from that Spear of Near. Does bonus damage the lower your health is, but when you're on 20 HP, I think any ability at Stiff Breeze might just knock you over. It's got some heavy trading coming out from this duo side. Lakenator, Crazzyfool versus Rdawggg and Samwise. I mean, Rdawggg has already picked up that first kill inside the duo lane. Looks like he's not reset just yet, so can't really spend that gold just yet and get that item advantage. But double reset coming out from the duo lane at least. Nitro going aggressive onto SimmyGoesHard as the Heaven's Fury comes out. Looks like a pretty even trade, but SimmyGoesHard is the one forced under the tower just now.
Yeah, and this is what we expected, Nitro dealing a lot of damage, especially since she's more that assassin player. And going back to what we just saw in the beginning, there is going to be a lot of damage potential coming from this Seraph, as we see InkLegend kind of just hovering on the right side. But there's something else happening here in the duo.
Rdawggg is in a lot of trouble here, dropping down. Might have been contesting that gold buff. A good amount of juking coming out from Rdawggg. Lake just needs to hit a shot, and finally he does. Don't worry, Lake. We can blame that one on the ping, but eventually going to get a kill onto the opposite number. That's 2 kills for the side of the North American rejects.
Going into the duo lane matchups, though, both of these duos, they have a lot of kill potential. You've got the Decker and with the Rdawggg, and then you've got the Steel with the Twin Blast. So there's a lot of CC coming out of both supports. But Gratty's over in this jungle.
It's going to be bumping in, combining with Nitro. Once again, SimmyGoesHard has to be careful. He's going to go through the torn space, but Nitro just follows it straight through and is able to take the kill on towards the Gideon, but is going to be traded once again. Gratty goes down. Rdawggg picking up yet another kill on the Rdawggg, and I think the side of the Rocket Rookies more than happy to get some of the kill credits going towards their ADC.
Yeah, they have to be careful. This Rdawggg is going to scale. The more kills he has in his pocket, the more he's able to, take this into the late game and deal a lot of damage. But yet again, North American rejects doing a lot of that skirmishes that they're looking for. They're invading the jungle. They're looking for InkLegend. Hey, where are you? And getting those kills in their pockets. But right now, 6 minutes in, 3-2. We've got the first Fangtooth. So we'll have to see which team will, what decisions they'll be making and who's going in for that first Fangtooth.
Yeah, for sure here. It's taken a little bit of time for that first Fangtooth to drop, particularly in FangBooth number 6. No one particularly taking it on cooldown as of yet. Also, Mini Prime spawning in about 30 seconds to throw another curveball their way. Just having a look at Gratty, trying to maybe look towards the gank on towards Tarkraf Requiem. And more trading coming out from across the board. Gratty is the only one getting the invade. It was also worth noting, whilst left lane happened, InkLegend did take away some camps in the red side jungle. Samwise goes for the engage with the containment defense. Crazzyfool jumps forward. Nice boop as InkLegend goes for Riplash. Can't find it, but Stasis Bomb will connect first. Not quite finding a link-up play, but Crazzyfool has to burn the blink and show some respect to the Rocket Rookies duo.
Beautiful rotation coming in from InkLegend. This is what we expect from Richter, especially if he's able to land the Riplash. A Riplash and a Skewer can really turn things around. And when you're looking at the team or the hero comp that we've got from Rocket Rookies, they're really team comp heavy oriented, but here's a gank.
Yeah, you're gonna see his InkLegend waiting for the Ascend to come down. Can't quite connect the Riplash, but that was a bit of a group. The Fnatic Death Brush does live on, as it is just a bit of a Shadow Curtain play. Not able to find the kill, though. And just going back to that Dura lane as well, I was quite surprised to see maybe, I don't know if it was miscommunication or maybe just someone jumping the gun, but I was expecting, with the Decker, hitting that stasis bomb, that almost guarantees the Riplash as well. So I was a bit surprised to see Riplash coming out first and then stasis bomb following it.
Indeed, especially if Decker's already there in the duo lane. But we mentioned the first Fangtooth, and it's there, and we know InkLegend is trying to make very close. Just making plays on that left side of the map. So he made a play over on the duo side. He just made a play over by the mid lane yet again. Twice in a row this time, because the Fangtooth is over on that left side. So Gratty's got to be careful, because if he's not there to kind of help his team and be in those team fights while he farms up, InkLegend able to make an impact and get his team ahead.
You can see a nice Iron Strike coming down from Samwise, hitting on both Crazzyfool and Lakenator. But that's the Decker kit blown, at least Crazzyfool going low. InkLegend is now appearing on the left-hand side. Crazzyfool does not have Blink. He's going to bump in towards InkLegend, and Gat gets the kill donated their way. Gratty is here. Nitro on the way. So is SimmyGoesHard, but Gratty jumps in, can't quite land that damage, and the North American Rejects having to back away. Rocket Rookies able to equalize in the kill department and starting to get the push as well, but SimmyGoesHard has to really run as fast as he can away from Nitro, thinking about the tower. Nitro, I saw the look in your eyes, like, I could go for this, but not today. SimmyGoesHard is able to keep himself alive.
We talked about Gideon doing a lot of damage as from range, but Nitro doing a lot of damage right back. And of course, just going back to what was just happening on the duo lane, InkLegend just everywhere, just ganking yet again on the duo side, creating a lot of pressure as Nitro makes the rotation now.
Say the defense always comes down. Crazzyfool is able to use the ball rush, get Ggg into the waiting arms of Nitro. A bit of a shutdown gold onto your Seraph in the mid lane. Thank you very much. Ggg is down, and the grouping up from NA Rejects means they're going to peel straight onto this Fangtooth.
And there we go. We just like what we were talking about. We were waiting to see what kind of decisions will come out from both of these teams in order for them to really secure that first Fangtooth. But at the same time, this is kind of like textbook on what we expect from these teams. One side is on the left taking Fangtooth, which is expected, as we saw Nitro over on that left side having that gank on the duo of Rocket Rookies. At the same time, we've got the Mini Prime secured on this right side. Tekken Kid trying to see what he can do to try and get it, but that Mini Prime is going over to InkLegend. So curious to see what he will do. Now that we're approaching this 10-minute mark, a lot of these players have their ultimates up. They're at level 6, level 7. So they're relying on those combinations. And we've got the scoreboard here. Looks very even in terms of CS. A lot of these teams or heroes are going into their first item. So we're just expecting a lot of kills.
Yeah, and I think and just having a look at that scoreboard, one thing that does catch me out, I mean, Nitro obviously is going to get naturally our attention of how he's going to pilot it, but taking the Breach as that first item as well, not something I see very often built in this game. Gives you that power, attack speed, and also crit chance. I mean, Sarah's going to love all of that as well, but essentially it's becoming kind of like a double AD carry as one of top, but Duralane's got more action. InkLegend goes for the gank. Lakenator blinks early, but the Riplash comes down, and Ggg is going to get yet another kill to his tally. A good gank on the duo side just to keep Rocket Rookies even in the kills, and they're pushing up. Inklegend with the Mini Prime buffed up minions as well. Going to crash, but leave alone. They know Gratty is here, and they know Nitro's on the way.
Yep, and Gratty just trying to clear his 3 camp there. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, we've got Nitro soloing SimmyGoesHard. Simmy just unfortunately not going hard enough, and will go down to Nitro there in the mid lane. But Gratty still hovering over here on the left side, not really able to do much, especially with Crazzyfool not around. Those kind of combinations with with the Decker and the Richter is what we're expecting. Kind of talked about the stasis bomb usually having to land first and then you get the Whiplash, but we're kind of seeing the other, you know, we have the Richter instead going in for the Whiplash. He's just reliant on it, and he trusts himself to land those.
Absolutely, you need a Richter to have that confidence as well, and he's definitely going to need a lot of it to keep Rocket Rookies inside of this game. Has been very proactive, but hasn't paid any attention to this right-hand side, and neither have we, honestly. Tekken Kid versus Tarkraf Requiem. I mean, all this fighting has been going on in mid and duo lane and that, and you just have these two tanky boys on the right-hand side just going at each other. But the tier 1 tower has dropped, and, you know, so already solo side looking a little bit weaker as well for the side of the Rocket Rookies. In this mid lane as well, with Nitro getting the kill inside of that red jungle onto SimmyGoesHard. A few teething points starting to develop for the Rocket Rookies as well, but that's why they're going to group up. They're going to pull Rdawggg from that left-hand side, start to push in this lane and get a bit of priority around this mid lane, but there's no neutral up just yet. They're just trying to maybe relieve a little bit of that pressure.
Yeah, and with InkLegend securing that or mini prime, but here's
Crazy
another fight.
Yeah, the CC comes down. Ventilate from Lakenator is going to get Rdawggg really low. Samwise throws down a containment defense. Nice Iron Strike, double stun, able to land. SimmyGoesHard is going to drop off screen, but we're keeping here on the left-hand side because Nitro's joining the party, looking to try and get the kill on towards Samwise. But Gratty in between two towers, trying to find a pick on towards the low-health Rdawggg, but now InkLegend wanting to turn this around. Reinforcements have arrived. Stasis Bomb does go wide. Gratty able to get away. Big investment comes into the duo side, but the one kill that happens is going to be the kill onto SimmyGoesHard. Tier 1 tower also going to drop.
Meanwhile, we saw that rotation from North American Rejects also on the left side. We have Tark, who is the Czarist, just kind of rotating over. But the thing is, if you leave Tekken Kid alone on over on the off lane, he's just going to push in, and you see the minion wave just pushing onto the T2 there. As we see Tekken Kid, he took down the first tier 1 tower there, so now he's able to kind of invade and try to steal those the jungle on the blue side of InkLegend.
Yeah, and it's going to be for InkLegend as well, especially on a Richter. You're expecting those invades to come down, particularly early on here. But we are 15 minutes into the game at this point. You know, the only neutrals really dropping are going to be FangBooth and the Mini Prime. Picked up one for either team. Of course, these towers really have been taking a hit, as all tier 1 towers, aside from mid lane for the Rocket Rookies, have dropped at least. So this is a very open map state as well, with teams having a lot more freedom to move around. But I am getting really concerned about this right-hand side, because Tekken Kid has been getting the better of these trades, already taking this tier 1 tower. His own tower has barely taken a scratch as well, so you see how much Tarkraf has been really struggling in that side, grouping up here. FangBooth, second one on the board, are going to be started up by the North American Rejects. Gratty is here, so is InkLegend, so is Rdawggg, so is Samwise. But InkLegend has taken a little bit of damage as Crazzyfool goes to try and zone, try and push them away. But it means that only Gratty is hitting onto the FangBooth, going to move in towards the pit. SimmyGoesHard goes in with the black hole, but it's going to be secured as Gratty is able to take it, and now SimmyGoesHard is stuck inside the ult, able to blink away, regroup. Nitro has dropped, and it's his 4 members of the Rocket Rookies starts to group up. Samwise hits the stasis bomb on towards Gratty. They're starting to lock him down. The CC combining. They're able to take down the jungler. Lakenator is out. So is Crazzyfool. They lose 2, but they have at least picked off the second FangBooth. And Lakenator able to get away.
We are 16 minutes in, 6-6. The second FangBooth going the way of the North American Rejects. Gratty with the secure on that. That was a great team fight coming in from the Rocket Rookies. This is what they want. They want to be able to have that combination of their abilities, which we just saw. You have the black hole, you have the stasis bomb as well. All this CC coming in from that team. But meanwhile, here we go. They know that they've secured the left-hand side. That's probably going to be a reset, as they were all really low. So they secured that mini prime.
Yeah, I got a little bit excited. I was like, 5 members playing going for an early or prime. And I had to remember, hang on, we're 16 minutes in, TJ. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves.
Too excited.
For sure here, but you know, I think it's just like a game one lull state getting back to you. I'm like, yeah, let's see some action, let's see some fighting at least. And both these teams haven't disappointed in that regard either. Just having a look here for the North American rejects. That next target, I imagine, is going to be tier 1 in the mid lane. That has to drop. But you know, SimmyGoesHard and Samwise are here, so Nitro has to leave it alone once again. That tier 1 tower is going to stand a little bit longer, but it is very low. Stasis Bomb connects, SimmyGoesHard pushes forward, but Nitro is not really in any danger, and especially if he's going to sit here and wait for Crazzyfool and Gratty to come down. As a Riplash did connect on towards InkLegend, Containment Fence comes down as well. Not going to find the kill just yet. Crazzyfool wasn't the target you were looking for. A bit of poke coming down from both these teams. NA Reject's going to get away, but in the left-hand side, Lakenator is down. Rdawggg with a solo bolo going to find a kill on the opposite AD carry. Tekken Kid forcing Tarkraf Requiem underneath tier 2 tower once again, but the Rocket Rookies pull ahead in kills.
Solo bolo indeed. And when we were talking about that mini prime from earlier, that actually went to Rdawggg and allowing him to kind of have that little bit of a buff as he solo boloed our Lakenator on the left-hand side. A lot of skirmishes happening here. You have the T1 still not down from in the mid lane for Rocket Rookies, because Sarah doesn't really have, you know, has been doing a lot of the rotations, trying to get those kill potentials everywhere on the map, which we expected Nitro to do. But, you know, with SimmyGoesHard going on that, playing that Gideon, a lot of wave clear as well as Gideon. We see that he went Golem's Gift, which is good because he does have that physical armor that we expected their team to build against this NA rejects who they lack that mage or that ability damage coming from them. So Rocket Rookies naturally just building that armor.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a very easy thing to pivot into with your build as well, and you know, really punishing that in the draft. But you know, that's what NA Rejects had to know going into this one as well. Nitro going to get a bit of pressure, but the Ascend comes out, and Nitro is just straight out of danger once again. Miniwaves do have to be caught up, and FangTooth spawning in just a couple of seconds, well, probably about a minute away, or Prime is the one a couple of seconds away. Some resets coming out. Miniwaves do need to be in a better position, though. Side lanes control for the North American Rejects have kept these minions constantly pushing in. Rocket Rookies just having to move around, and it's almost like every play they make, they're always having to sacrifice something.
Yeah, and Rocket Rookies, another thing that they do really well, just watching as this game kind of plays out, as we have a little bit of a replay action happening. They do want to, they rely on their abilities and their combinations, like we mentioned, the Riplash as well as the Stasis Bomb, to really connect in order for them to secure those team fights. So naturally, North American Rejects, they're looking for those picks. They're looking for someone who just has to be at the wrong place at the wrong time in order for them to really secure those kills. But at the same time, Lakenator is also scaling as the ADC for North American Rejects. So they got to be careful because TB still has a lot of mobility. So he's able to kind of be that slippery ADC hero, but still deal a lot of damage in the late game.
And so we do just have just some technical difficulties with the replay as well, especially grouping up over on this FangTooth side, which is going to be really awkward. Oh, okay, holy moly, we're already in a fight and a wombo combo being hit. We don't know how it started. We might be able to actually jump back, and Kana is right here to find out exactly what happened. We're going to get a bit of a spoiler at least as it's a 2 for 2 here. We're going to be jumping back. Let's not get a 2 ahead of ourselves. Let's see how this one actually broke down at least here. So the grouping up from the side of North American Rejects over on the left-hand side, looking towards this FangTooth, as you know, the kill feed does have to catch up with itself. That should be fine. We should be back to a nice straightforward place as well. Nitro with the pressure coming out at least. So we know FangTooth is going to be this next start, and the grouping up once again coming up here. 4 members strong on this left-hand side. Tekken Kid rotating in from the right, and with InkLegend here as well. It's going to be a 5 versus 4 potentially, because Tarkraf Requiem has just not left that solo side at all. And this might be something for the North American Rejects to punish at least. They're going to look towards SimmyGoesHard, who takes the tether, but into the impale they go. The Iron Strike looking to wombo combo inside of this corner. Riftwalkers pulls them in. 3 knocked up by Crazzyfool. Look at how low they go. And Lakenator pours all the damage in. Gonna find 2, but it's only at the cost of 2 back. Tarkraf Requiem is here with the Coliseum. Rdawggg still free firing, still throwing out all the damage. They're looking to clean up house. The Rocket Rookies have liftoff. They find all 5 members and wipe the North American Rejects off the map.
Off the map, indeed. 5 players down on the side of North American Rejects. Rocket Rookies coming out with 2 members down, and that is the 3rd FangTooth for them. More buffs, more movement speed, and that was a great play. This is what we were talking about. But unfortunately for them, Tarkraf making that rotation all the way from the offlane with just a beautiful Coliseum, able to just lock down on Lakenator, not able to blink away. I believe there were 3 other members who were there as well. So once you're stuck in that Coliseum, which is what we talked about looking at the draft as well, that fence there, they're not able to get anywhere, just being hard CC'd and comboed by the Rocket Rookies, and that's ultimately their downfall.
Okay, it looks like we're just getting word from production, of course, as we can all see that the replay system is having a few teething issues for sure here, which is a bit of a shame for sure here. We'll be looking to get the game back as quick as we can, but you know, what a team fight there. You know, that late rotation, it was like almost in slow motion as well. It's like just the Zarus like just running as fast as go, like, wait for me, I'm on the way. But how did Rdawggg stay in that entire fight, just pumping out all of that damage? That was nuts.
Yeah, beautiful peeling coming in from the big boys from his team, especially when you've got the this front line in front of you. Just he's able to deal and pump out that damage. We don't know what his KDA is currently, but we know he's got some gold in his pocket. He's able to solo Lakenator, especially with him securing that mini prime from earlier, just becoming into this late game monster that we were talking about.
Yeah, and I think when we last checked in with Rdawggg, I think he was at 11-2. I think was when I last had a look at that scoreboard. As we are going to be jumping back into the game, we are at 22 minutes in, and yeah, Rdawggg sitting there 11-2. Also picked up that Deathstalker second item as well. Like, members of these teams really starting to innovate with some of these builds as well. A bit of a departure from what we normally see.
Yeah, and going into this late game now, the death timers are longer. They have to be careful here as we go into this late game. We have the Primordial FangTooth, that is the next neutral objective, as well as the Orb Prime. Looking at the vision on the map, though, there isn't a lot of wards currently. A lot of these junglers are doing a really good job at sweeping, as well as just taking out the vision and denying that vision from the other team. But at the same time, as we speak, we see that coming out from the Rocket Rookies as it's starting to be placed around that next objective, the Orb Prime.
Yeah, you're going to get that vision down into the red side jungle. I mean, Tarkraf Requiem is here from the solo side. TJDJ going to start split pushing as well, just dropping the wards down, getting the vision game going once again. Might have to make the play quit sooner rather than later, because TJDJ might be able to push this all the way under the tier 2. But actually, they're going to turn around. They're not going to look towards the mid lane. They're going to actually go towards TJDJ on this Kwang. Let's see what he can do to get away, as Requiem is here. Not finding the lockdown just yet. The sword is going to be dropped. This might be an ultimate outplay should he need it, but there's the Riplash into the skewer. The silence coming down. They're trying to burn through this Kwang as quick as possible, but the sword is not in any position to help out, and that's going to be Rdawggg getting his 12th kill of the game on towards the North American Rejects solo laner, and they're still on the hunt for more. But with this grouping up here, you know, the North American Rejects still pushing in the mid lane and might look for another fight.
We have a lot of these players in danger as we see Rocket Rookies closing in on them in the mid lane here, losing the Kwang, as well as Crazzyfool just unfortunately getting caught out in the jungle. Rdawggg yet again securing yet another kill. This man is becoming so scary. If I was North American Rejects, I would be scared for my life. Rdawggg is just taking out so much damage as we see Gratty just hovering here as they look at Ore Prime.
Look, Gratty goes in with the blink, looking to secure. InkLegend going to take it away. Gratty goes down. But yet, with the way this game is going, Gratty had to make the play, had to go for the 50-50. Rdawggg picking up yet another kill on the back end as Rocket Rookies looking to lock down another member. Lakenator and Nitro do get to safety, but the Ore Prime, the big purple buff, is on all of the Rocket Rookies team, and they're looking to constrict this map and take this home on the right-hand side. SimmyGoesHard actually bumping into Nitro and Crazzyfool in the red side jungle, but this tier 1 tower, this almost feels personal for Tarkraf Requiem to take down. It's just been a thorn in his side for so long. 25 minutes Tekken Kid has kept this tower standing, and it looks like the Rocket Rookies are going to be the first point to take this one down.
Tekken Kid doing a good job at split pushing in the early mid game, but unfortunately just going into the 25 minutes, just getting caught out. He was just way too far pushed up and by himself, allowing Rocket Rookies to make that rotation over on the right-hand side and allowing them to secure that Ore Prime as they take 2 members down from North American Rejects. They're looking at this T2 tower. They have the power now, but here's the fight.
Goes in. Rift Walker shield slam onto 3 members as the enemies try to go for the damage and knock up the wombo combo coming in, but Rdawggg is still alive and Rdawggg is still dealing the damage. Nitro is down. It was the perfect setup. It was the perfect combination, but the Rocket Rookies are the ones who find a perfect combination of kills. They take down 3 members. They're going to take down the tier 2 and they're going to look to take even more. The base might be an inferno at this point. Only 2 members are alive for 26 more seconds, and with this buffed up minion wave as well, the Rocket Rookies might just look to close out the game as it's only Gratty, it's only Crazzyfool, and they've used their ultimates. Crazzyfool taking the damage. SimmyGoesHard into the black hole, takes down Gratty, and just like that, the NA Rejects fall apart. But Rocket Rookies are the team in the ascendancy. They're looking to the core, just need a few more shots, and they are gonna find it. Quickest game of the day goes their way. 26 minutes. Rocket Rookies take their game in Group B.